In this video, I'll be discussing all you need to know for the upcoming CM4, which is the Leo Cup. I'll be discussing the track, the acceleration skill, the decks you need, the recommended stats, and all the meta Umas and the team composition you need to know. Starting off with the Leo Cup, it's a Hanshin turf with 2,200 meter race course. It's basically the Takarasuga Kinen. For the conditions, we can see it's right, sunny, firm, summer, 2,200 meter, meaning it's a non-standard distance, and Hanshin race course. Now moving on onto the tracks itself, if you see the track in game Tora, you might have noticed that actually there's a downhill in both of the sections. However, in the game itself, we don't actually have this downhill section, so it should look something like this. And it's easier to follow the version in Uma later if you want to visualize the skills. And as a result of that, skills that have downhill section activation, such as Cold Ship Go Home Specialist, do not activate on this map. So please do not take these skills. Swinging Maestro and Professor of Curvature always activate on this first corner right here. So it's definitely still a good skill to take for this race course. As for the acceleration skill, we actually have 4 choices, which is Angling and Scheming, Redshift, Shooting for Victory, and Let's Pump Some Iron. For frontrunners, you definitely want Angling and Scheming and Redshift. For pace chasers, definitely grab Redshift and Shooting for Victory. Late surgers, you could either choose Let's Pump Some Iron, Shooting for Victory, or Redshift depending on the rooms. As for end closer, you could choose Let's Pump Some Iron, Redshift, and Shooting for Victory as well, but I believe it's better to choose Let's Pump Some Iron and Redshift. On this race course, specifically, Angling and Scheming and Let's Pump Some Iron activate way earlier on the final leg because they activate right about this area, and Redshift and Shooting for Victory activate on the final corner right about here. So Angling and Scheming and Let's Pump Some Iron has a little bit more advantage because they activate earlier than Redshift and Shooting for Victory. As for the decks, it's pretty much flexible on how you want to build it, but definitely grab Kita Sunblack for Professor of Curvature and Speed card in general. And of course, you need to borrow Super Creek because you need Swinging Maestro. The other 4 cards is actually really flexible. It depends on the stats you want to achieve. You could fit something like 2 Speed cards, which is your usual MLB Speed, followed by another Stamina if you feel your Super Creek is lacking to hit yours, such as Mayana Top Gun and Manhattan Cafe. You could also put another wit card such as Majiro Dober, Fine Motion, Fuji Kiseki for the right-handed and summer hints. Or if you are a whale and you want to high roll your stats, then definitely grab Tazuna. As for the stats, these are the recommended stats: 1200 on speed, 750 on stamina with 2 gold recovery. This is assuming that you run into stamina debuffers, that is nice nature. 800 on power, 300 on guts, and 400 on wit. If you want to run front runners, then definitely grab a bit higher on the wit side because you want to have advantage for the overtake mechanics, and as usual, prioritize getting the S medium for the speed. If you want to run no gold recovery, then the bare minimum for the stamina is 1000 stamina, but this doesn't really account if there's debuffers in the room. An important note is you need to prioritize Redshift for all the styles because Redshift is a really good acceleration skill and it will just proc regardless as soon as you enter the 5th position. Here are a couple of meta Umas that were popular in the JP version and the Korean version. First of all, of course, Summer Marusensky. Her banner will be released before the Leo Cup. If you really want to win this Leo Cup, then definitely you need to pull for Summer Marusensky as she is the best Uma for this race course. Why is Summer Marusensky actually really good is because of her unique. She can manipulate the activation of her unique skills with an active recovery skills. So for example, in this race course, 777 meters is right here, right before the last spurt. So if you activate 777 here, so it'll activate and it carry over to the last spurt, and you just straight up win the race. Summer Marusensky also has a good gold recovery skill, Jaja Umamusume or Wild Girl. This skill will activate on the uphill, and if we see, it will activate a little bit early on this part of the race. So this is definitely a good skill to grab. The only downside of running Summer Marusensky is that it's really hard to inherit our own OG version of the Redshift. You definitely need to grab Seon Sky Unique, Angling and Scheming to cover for her acceleration skill. Another popular option is Ogre Cap. Ogre Cap has a really good unique, which is Triumphant Falls, and she also has a good recovery skill, which is Gorman. How to build her is practically the same as the first Champions meeting, which is the Taurus Cup. You just need to inherit Shooting for Victory and Redshift to ensure her acceleration procs. It basically just comes down to a game of who procs the acceleration skill and they just straight up win the race. Hybrid Umas such as Tachyon and Symbol Rudolph is also really popular because you could run Dominator and do a speed debuffs on the front runners such as the Marusensky. If you and another person is running the same Summer Marusensky, having a Rudolph or speed debuffer could be the big difference in you winning the race. Rudolph is also a really good hybrid Uma if you want to build her as another sub-ace as well. As for the end closer, the most popular strategy is the same as CM1 as well. It's just gold chip, and you only need to inherit Let's Pump Some Iron and Redshift. Due to being the end closer, it's pretty easy to activate Let's Pump Some Iron because you'll end up somehow in the 6th position anyway. She also has a pretty decent unique for this race course. However, her gold recovery skill Go Home Specialist does not activate on this map, so definitely don't waste your skill points and don't prep this skill. Straightaway spurt is also pretty useless because if we see the track right here, the straight starts at the last spurt, not as the final leg. So most of the time, you already reach your top speed and this acceleration ends up being useless. As for the stamina debuffer option, Nice Nature also becomes another viable option. Her Mystifying Murmur becomes available in this race course again. You can also pair Mystifying Murmur with All-Seeing Eye. However, as the frontrunner meta becomes more apparent, it's pretty hard to hit the frontrunners like Summer Marusensky and CM Sky at the front because they are too far ahead from the late surger position and sometimes the debuff actually miss. To counter this and help with it, you can try to get the late surger savvy skill to increase your range. So here's a team composition that probably would be mostly run on the Leo Cup. The first of all is to front with another ace. So you will be running Summer Marusensky as your strongest ace followed by CM Sky just to help her proc and activate some of the middle leg skills and as your double ace. You can also run another ace of your preferred style such as Ogre Cap to make sure if your frontrunner both fails. If you don't have CM Sky or Summer Marusensky, then definitely you can opt to run the pace or the late and surger styles such as Ogre Cap, Seymour Rudolph, Gold Ship itself. There's also another option where you can pair your strongest ace with 2 double speed debuff to hit the other Umas with the speed debuff and end your strongest ace win the race. You can also go with the OG style of running 2 ace and Nice Nature and hope your Nice Nature lands all their stamina debuff and just stam check all the enemies if they don't proc their gold recovery skills. The last option will be 2 front and Dominator. I believe this is the strongest option if you're running the frontrunners because having Rudolph or having a Dominator speed debuff just really helps ensure your frontrunner wins. A couple of things you want to prepare for the Leo Cup is definitely if you're planning on running the frontrunners, then grab groundwork and in general just farm the unique inherit followed by the respective green skills and middle leg skills. As for the parent deck, here are the list of the card for the green skills such as Right-Handed, Summer Runner, Hanshin Race Course, Non-Standard Distance, Firm Conditions, and lastly Sunny Days. As for the speed skill, Yano Muteki is definitely the option because she has the ramp up playtimes over until high combo. For Pace Chaser, you can run Nishino Flower because she has the Hanshin Race Course, Firm Condition, and Pace Corners. For the end closer stuff, Narita Taishin. For the late surger stuff, definitely Asian Flash. And the front runner stuff, definitely it's Silent Suzuka. As for the Grano skill, here are the options for the support card that you might want to run in your deck. You're probably gonna be running Air Group most of the time for the parent deck, but these are some of the other options. And with that, we've come to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you can prepare ahead of the time for the Leo Cup. As always, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.